I am an art teacher and have been working with adults and children for over 20 years. I have a master's degree in arts and consciousness, and today I would like to share with you how to explore the magic of color that is understandable in a way to make it more approachable and accessible to children and teachers. So my first passion, my inspiration for my passion has been Marc Chagall in a very big way. And I would like to share with you this couple of his pages in this book that show him sitting in a field of yellows. He's literally sitting in something that was prepared for a stage presentation, covered in shades of yellow, deeper, lighter, and a dance of colors, literally a dancing figures, but the whole feeling of dance through the use of color and figures. And there's another one of him walking around in this self-created magical field of yellows and oranges, doing his work, painting. Here's another page of him surrounded by reds. And what I want to point out is the beautiful relationship of colors, the yellows, the reds, some of the cool colors, the blues, all creating these beautiful relationships of color. The choice of colors that I have been using, this company is Lakeshore. I've explored different materials and found that this company has some of the purest colors. And that's important because colors themselves are like music. And if Paul Klee spoke about music related to color and how color actually sings. It sings, it moves, it almost dances when it's truly beautiful colors. So it's very important, I feel, to use good quality material. I buy them in the gallon and they last me a very, very long time. These are non-washable colors. The washable are diluted, and even though these are non-washable, they're called super bright, they typically wash out, and why not put an apron on a child just to protect their clothing. But I have not had a problem with these colors typically, and it's worth buying the non-washable. So the primary colors, you can see a number of colors with these, but red, yellow, and blue are the primaries, of course, and then white, which softens the colors. These are the primary colors. Then I usually have turquoise. I buy smaller amounts of turquoise, several of these for the whole year. A couple of these will last for the whole year. These are smaller. But turquoise, magenta, and gold. I don't know if you can get it there, but at any other stores you might, a beautiful shade of gold. Children love using gold. So that's in terms of the paints. Then papers. I believe it's important to use a decent quality material in all that we do with children, including preschool. I've been working with preschool children for many years, and the colors and the materials, if they are cheap, then what they get back is the reflection of that. If they're decent quality, not high-end necessarily, but decent quality, reflect back, pay off in a very big way. Brushes are good to have a variety of brushes. This is about a $4 brush, and it's important. I've been working with each child individually and training them how to use the brush, not mashing it around, but thinking of it as something you take care of. You wet it first, you wipe it gently, and you can not scrub with it because it'll ruin the brush, but just painting in a very soft way, in a gentle way, and I repeat the word gentle to them. If a child is very young and isn't able to do that yet, although they can be trained with a few demos, but if a child is very young and wants to paint, of course, there are these more coarse brushes, and they can do any of their movements with that, and that will work. Here's another wide brush, which is nice for them to choose. You can even get, these are paint brushes in a paint store. You can get wide brushes, smaller brushes, and that's fun for them to explore with a variety. Paper is worthwhile with children who have a little bit of practice to use a reasonable watercolor paper. Get beautiful results out of that. And different size papers are very important because you want to encourage the children to use their wrist, their elbow, their shoulder, ideally in an easel where they use their whole body, or even spreading a large piece of paper on the floor, really large, and letting a few children paint on it. So here's an easel-sized paper, which is quite large, and that's very important for them to develop these skills in terms of writing and just their joy and creativity through the paper and on the paper. Now I'd like to demonstrate to you simple mixing of colors, and one should always start with the lightest color first. And I'm going to start with white here. A bit of white. I'm going to give myself a little bit of yellow. Touch of magenta for the fun of it. There are better magentas in this one. This is the one I happen to have right now, but magenta is a fantastic color and very important. So is turquoise. And what I'm going to start doing right now is showing you these variety of greens that I put on the table. They have different textures. Here's a very light, very, very pale green, and I'm going to show you how to mix these colors. It's very easy. Very yellow, full of yellow in this leaf, and lovely textures. Red, showing children all the subtle aspects of the plants, the red stems, the variety of shapes, the feeling of the plant. Here's a fern. And here is a variegated mint. There are many kinds of variegated plants out there, but the variegated is a wonderful thing to show children. So I'm going to take myself a little bit of blue in order to make these shades of green. The darker colors are very concentrated, so you typically need less of them than the white or yellow. So I always do, as I say, I always wet the brush first. It's always important to wet the brush first, wipe it a little bit so that the water drips inside. Children often splash their brushes around and then water gets over their painting, so just gently doing that. I'm going to start with white. Actually, you'll have to excuse me, I'm going to actually start with yellow at this point because I'm going for the greens now. So I'm going to start with some yellow. I start with a lighter color, I add a touch of the deeper colors, very concentrated, and I'm creating now a very light green, but I want it even lighter. So I'm going to clean my brush, wipe it, and get some more yellow in there, because I think I'm going to aim for the very pale, even more yellow. And maybe a touch of white in there, maybe a touch of white. But look at that beautiful green. I think it's probably closer to some of these colors here, but it is a very soft and beautiful green. In order to make it darker, of course, I would just make another little something on the side here. Should have started with yellow first, but here we go. Yellow. And you just adjust it. You do it in small quantities and you can just adjust the color. Here's a richer green. I'm going to take a touch of red to that, just a drop of red. It's fun to experiment with these colors and see what comes out of it. Just a drop of red, a tiny drop of red, and turns it into a more brown-toned green. So here you have a brown-toned green which is closer and deeper to these colors, to these leaves. So what fun it is to blend color, and it's just play, really. It's very enjoyable and playful. If I take white and add just a tiny drop of the green, it's still white, but it's a white with a green edge to it, and it's a lovely soft color. So now you have an array of beautiful greens, and I will use this page here to say that it's nice to teach children just a few basic movement of the brush. Here's a wavy line. I think I'll take a darker color so it's more obvious. A spiral. How about some dots? So all kinds of just basic few lines to explore. Some wild line that's just goes all over the place. Teaches them how to use the brush. You can use the tip of the brush, the flat of the brush. You get familiar with that. They get familiar with that, and then out of that they can develop over time all kinds of wonderful shapes. So if I look at any of these leaves, here's one that looks like a heart shape. I need more paint there. A heart-shaped leaf, and some of the older children can do that. Tip of red makes it a more natural color. Okay. So, all right, that's so much for the greens. Endless possibilities of green. I heard that in Spanish there are many, many, many words for green. We say green, but I heard, and I wish I spoke more Spanish, many, many words for just that one color, green. That's exciting. I'd love to know that. So, now I'd like to talk to you about other colors here that I brought. I think it's very nice to have flowers. I often have flowers at the table of different colors. It's exciting. It's like a dance of colors. And let's talk about, here's a peach or a salmony pink color. So I would start with white again. The lightest color first, white. Take a touch of red, just a tiny touch of red. And to make that a peach color, I'll take a tiny bit of yellow, just a drop of yellow. And here's a lovely color that is so very close to this beautiful rose. And if you were painting that rose, making a painting of these simply wavy lines here, make it deeper by adding more red if you want to. Wavy lines. It gives you the feeling of the petals. Deeper color inside maybe. Little dots inside. Fun. It's fun. So, doesn't take much really. Purples, lavenders, there's a whole array of beautiful colors. And that doesn't eliminate the deeper, richer colors in combination, so it's fun to have these soft colors, which is very gentle for children and peaceful and I think healing actually. But you can make, of course, deeper colors, richer colors, which they love as well. And here's that beautiful deep pink, really, and I would not even call that red, but it's considered red, but a very rich color. So suddenly it becomes very alive on the page when you have the deeper colors, the warm colors, and cool colors. I would say cool would be the blues, the cool colors. So it's nice to create a palette of for children, and they can choose, colors that they love. It's relationships of colors that they have often a very wonderful sense for that. Well, that is really what I have been happy to show you and present to you. And thank you for sharing this process with me.